Hey, good weekend to you, everybody. Welcome to Leading Edge. I'm Jerry Anderson. America voted in record numbers in the midst of a pandemic. Man, did America vote. Divided as we are, we came together at polling places, at drop boxes, via the U.S. mail, the good old-fashioned snail mail. And just what were we saying? Well, even before the vote of this Tuesday, I had decided that I wanted on this first program after the election to have a seasoned and reasoned voice of politics, of community spirit, of love for this country. And hey, right in our midst, as you well know, is the longest serving female member in the history of the U.S. House of Representatives. My first guest, Marcy Kaptur, Democrat, Ohio's 9th District. Congratulations on your reelection. I was counting up here. I think you're entering your 20th term. Does that sound about right?
That is
Congratulations to you.
It went like a flash. It's
The-
just, it
the 20
doesn't
terms.
seem that way.
Well, as Americans, I think we speak through our votes. So as they were speaking on Tuesday and in those weeks leading up to it, all of the early voting, what did you, Marcy Kaptur, hear them saying?
Well, it depends who you talk to,
Yeah.
but most people here across northern Ohio, and our district runs from the heart of Toledo to the heart of Cleveland, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
People had a range of concerns. Number one, the future of their family, the future of their children, the economy, whether it would continue working for them, depending on which county I'm in. There are different experiences. Cedar Fair's business has really gone down because of the pandemic. The steel mills in Lorain have not fired up, though the president said they had when he was in Toledo in January. There's concern about health insurance, the cost of health insurance, how people afford medicine. And obviously the pandemic overrides everything because people were out of work. They were concerned about their families, people in nursing homes. So I would have to say the economy, healthcare, and then the pandemic, kind of different sets of experiences related to that.
Marcy Kaptur, my guest, and I'm going to tell you right up front, as you watch at home this weekend, you know right now more than we do about where the election stands. We are recording late in the week. Votes are still being counted as we record this today, and the first of the lawsuits have been filed. I think we're going to see those for days, weeks, possibly months ahead. So your thought, Marcy Kaptur, on the possibility of yet another election being decided by the courts?
Well, I think that we are a nation of laws, not of individuals. In the end, we are all responsible for our behavior. And I think this is a kind of a normal thing. You know, there's a right to contest votes. There's a right to file in the courts. And I think that the courts will be expeditious in their rulings. And we have 50 states, obviously, and there are different election laws in each state. So the judges thus far, when there have been issues raised, have been ruling in a reasonable amount of time. That's what I've noted.
Let me get to this one because of what the president said very early on this past week when he came out in the middle of the night and declared victory while many states were still in flux and said this is a tragedy, this is fraud, and we're going to take this to the U.S. Supreme Court. They'll have to probably enter at a lower court, but if they works its way out to the U.S. Supreme Court, 3 of those people on that court are there because of him. I'm going to ask you, can you see that court giving less than a partisan ruling concerning this election?
Well, we'll all have to find out. I don't expect it will reach the high court.
Really?
Perhaps it will, but I think that the secretaries of state and the attorneys general in the various states in the country are going to, I think the president may learn a little bit about the law in our country and how complex it really is, and how we start at the lowest level and then we move up from there.
Right.
So election law is state law.
Right.
And so the attorneys general and the Supreme Courts and the lower courts of the states really have the major role to play as we adjudicate in the area of election law. And it's a very arcane, you know, most attorneys don't involve themselves with that. But obviously, you know, the legal system does. And so I would expect most of the action will be at that level. I would be very surprised if it would go up to the Supreme Court.
All right. Marcy Kaptur, my guest. Now, I want to talk about some things that have been, should be, maybe will be going on where she works, this little place called the U.S. House of Representatives. I'm going to take a break. Can you hang with me, Marcy?
You bet.
All right. I'm back on Leading Edge right after this.